Nam mô Bổn Sư Thích Ca Mâu Ni Phật. Nam mô Bổn Sư Thích Ca Mâu Ni Phật. Nam mô Bổn Sư Thích Ca Mâu Ni Phật. Good evening, good morning, dear Dharma sister and brother. Today is July 3rd, 2021. We are at Pháp Nhãn Temple in the Buddha Hall. Today we would like to chant a little bit, learning daily chanting by heart in Vietnamese and English together. After that, we have Dharma discussion about gratitude in Buddhism. Right now, we would like to invite the whole Sangha to listen to the sound of the bell, and then we chanting together. After chanting, we have a Dharma discussion. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dhammaya, Namo Sanghaya.
Xin tôi nu hoa sen rạng ngồi nu bát đạo xin quay về nón chùa bát tay của nhóm tiếng as wonderful as the lotus flower, as bright as the northern star. Let us come back and take refuge in the Master of gods and human beings.
Con là thầy chỉ đạo, con tính thức vẹn toàn, tướng tốt đoan trang, trí và mang đời Buddha hội đời phú ly awaken and enlighten one, show the way of Buddhism to live in thin and live in being and the virtue good and noble side, the Buddha wisdom and compassion are perfect. Đệ tử chúng con chí tâm kính lễ chư phần thường trú trong ba đời và mười phương.
We are disciples of Gautama Buddha, wholeheartedly pay homage to the Buddha, forever present in the 3 lifetimes and 10 directions. Con đồn sáng tặng mười thoáng cõi mê, đọa con trở về sống cuộc đời tinh tướng. The Dharma which is the bright way escape from realm of delusion, leads us to return to the health in order to live a life of awakening. Đệ tử công công chi tam kinh lễ chư pháp tuần tu trong ba đời ba mươi phân. Disciple of Gautama Buddha, bay on mình tu the Dhamma forever present in the three lifetime and ten direction. Tăng là đoán thế đẹp mà cùng đi trên đường vui tu tập giải thoát làm ăn là cuộc đời đời Sangha that is the beautiful community in harmony. Travel on the joyful path together, cultivate to be free from oblivion, to make a life beautiful. Đệ tử chúng con chí tâm kính lễ chư tăng, thường trú trong ba đời và mười phương. Quy disciple of Gautama Buddha, wholehearted they pay homage to the Sangha forever present in the three lifetime and ten direction. Thường tâm điều lành hàng ngày, bồi sinh wholesome things daily, bồi sáng nội điều lành, bồi trúa nội điều lành, bồi tối nội điều lành. Ta có một ngày vui, in the morning say something wholesome, in the afternoon say something wholesome, in the evening say something wholesome. We have a joyful day and night, buổi sáng ngày điều lành, buổi trưa ngày điều lành, buổi tối ngày điều lành. Ta có một ngày vui, in the morning think about something wholesome, in the afternoon think about something wholesome, in the evening think about something wholesome. We have a joyful day and night, buổi sáng làm điều lành, buổi tôi làm điều lành, cõi tôi làm điều lành. Ta có một ngày vui, ta có một năm vui, ta có cuộc đời vui. Nam mô Bồ Tát Quan Thế Âm, Nam mô Bồ Tát Quan Thế Âm, Nam mô Bồ Tát Quan Thế Âm, Nam mô Bồ Tát Quan Thế Âm. In the morning do something wholesome, in the afternoon do something wholesome, in the evening do something wholesome. We have a joyful day and night. We have a joyful year and life. Namo fully enlightened Buddhaya. Namo fully enlightened Buddhaya. Namo fully enlightened Buddhaya.
You finish paper, I continue. Yes.
Con thề nguyện con hành giải for practitioner vào chúng sanh không số lượng. Thề nguyện để độ các phiền não không cùng tâm. Thề nguyện để đúc sạch pháp tu không kể giết. Thề nguyện để tụng hành phần đau không gì ôn. Thề nguyện để viễn thành. Nam mô Phật Thích Ca Mâu Ni. Nam mô Phật Thích Ca Mâu Ni. Nam mô Phật Thích Ca Mâu Ni. Nam mô Phật Thích Ca Mâu Ni.
Sen tình biến năm bờ lê ra ai vào tu xây đâm on đi phải là mình en lê ai vào tu en đâm on đam cầu tia vây sanh lý mệt lê ta I vow to practice the Buddha way is supreme. I vow to attain it. Namo fully awaken Buddhaya. Namo fully awaken Buddhaya. Namo fully awaken Buddhaya. Phát nguyện tinh tấn và lạy tạ ơn tam bảo đệ tử Gotama luôn luôn từ tinh thức không luận ngày hay đêm, thường tương niệm Phật Đà. Nam mô Phật Đà Gia. We are disciples of Gautama Buddha. Oh, always aware of ourselves by day and by night, constantly practice and recollect the light of the Buddha. Nam mô Buddhaya.
Đệ tử Gotama luôn luôn tu tinh túc, con luôn nhớ ngày hay đêm, còn tôn niệm chánh pháp. Nam mô Dharma. We are disciples of Gautama Buddha, are always aware of ourselves by day and by night, constantly practice and recollect the light of the Dharma. Nam mô Dhammaya. Tu Gotama luôn luôn tu tinh túc, con luôn nhẫn ngày hay đêm, còn tôn niệm tăng đoàn. Nam mô Sanghaya. We are disciples of Gautama Buddha, are always aware of ourselves by day and by night, constantly practice and recollect the light of the Sangha. Nam mô Sanghaya. Hồi hoang quên đêm con bước này, hướng về cam tân ca để tu và chúng sinh để trong tan phản đạo, sharing the merit, make the merit of cultivation today be directed towards all living things and living beings. We and human beings can realize the Buddha way together. Sadhu Lan Thầy, well done and excellent.
Thank you, Brother Pháp Thanh. Today, you see here, Brother Pháp Thanh chanting in Vietnamese and English very fluently. And the more we have chanting in Vietnamese and English, the more we learn the Buddha teaching from our chanting. Đại chúng Dear Dharma sister, brother, now please raise your hand and support Dharma brother Pháp Thanh and me too. Now please enjoy tea. Dear Dharma sister, brother, today we would like to say about topic gratitude in Buddhism. Right now, we have around 9. First, gratitude. I only give the key topic, the key word. All the time, brother Pháp Thanh explain one by one. First, gratitude, express deep gratitude to parents. And second, we would like in the parent, we explain one by one. The parent family education is explained one by one. And second, we would like to express deep gratitude to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. We can say Tri Ratana. The Buddha Chuo, the Dharma Chuo, and the Sangha Chuo. The second. Number 3, we would like to express deep gratitude to the master. In this case, secular master as well as Dharma master. And the function different, but secular master in the school. And the Dharma master in the temple. Some explained by one. And number 4, we would like to express deep gratitude to Patriarchs who have a duty in the Buddha time, in the middle time and modern time. The Patriarchs who have a duty to transmit in the Buddha time until different countries, Vietnam, America, Australia, European, different area, even Africa. And number 4. Number 5, we would like to express deep gratitude to the country where we were born. Where someone was born here, someone was born in another country. Give for example in Vietnam, Thailand, Australia, but have a time to work and to live here. And we would like to express deep gratitude to the places, the places where we were born, or the country where we were born, grow up, living in this country. Number 5, right? Number 6, we would like to express deep gratitude to national hero. One by one, if we live in the Vietnam in the first king until now, in U.S. in the George Washington, the first president until now. Right now, president, the 46th U.S. president. We would like express deep gratitude to national hero. Number 7, we would like to express deep gratitude to donor and giver. Donor and giver. And we explain one more and more. And number 8, we would like to express one thing. In the gratitude to a parent, we in this case first, and we is related to parent and children. We would like to express deep gratitude to children also. Parent without children, nobody take care of whole family like that. And the teacher, we would like to express deep gratitude to student or to disciple. We say sometimes somebody express a deep gratitude to a teacher, but a student or disciple forgot. It's not good. So in this case, we would like to spread deep gratitude to student or to disciple. With disciple who have a duty to connect and to relate, or to connect, or to maintain, to hold the teacher, or to transmit, to have duty to transmit from the master to master, from the your old generation to young generation. Express deep gratitude to a young generation. And number 9, we would like to express deep gratitude to environment, where we live a peaceful environment. In this case, no violence. You see, and we protect forest, we protect the tree, protect everything around us. So last night we stressed chánh báo means human being. In this case, practitioner. Y báo means environment, people around us. We would like to express deep gratitude to all. If we nice, around nice, deep gratitude, gratitude to on different kind of gratitude in Buddhism. Other time you are good person, where you live, where you work, where you do. Other time you always have a deep gratitude to someone and someone else and somewhere else, and more and more people express about you, express you. Right now the 9 topic like that, one topic but a different kind of gratitude. Here you see, this is a real person. This Pháp Thanh brother in flesh and bone. And now here you see here, we would like to invite my brother explain one by one. And in English today, only English. Maybe tomorrow Vietnamese, but today only English. And one by one, something we would like to give more suggestion. Other time we discuss. Right now, one by one. First one. Start.
Come on, Thầy. So the first gratitude in Buddhism.
First, we say hi. Good morning.
Good morning, Dharma brothers and sisters. Namo Bongcho Te Kamo Ni Pháp. I invite everyone to learn about the 9 gratitudes in Buddhism with me today. Thank you. So the first gratitude is the gratitude towards parents. So our parents are the individuals responsible for raising us in the proper way. In fact, if it wasn't for parents, we wouldn't be here. I mean, it's pretty...
Slowly, really something emphasize stable.
Okay. So, because of parents, we are all here. This seems like a obvious fact, but it's because of them that we have our life. But it is also because of them that we are raised. Who we are is dependent on who our parents are. Now, there's a mindfulness meditation technique in Plum Village with Thich Nhat Hanh, that when we breathe, we acknowledge that we breathe with our parents' lungs. That when we speak with our parents' tongue. That everything that we are has been handed down to us by our parents. And we're meant to have gratitude for that. Now, whether or not you think that those things are good or not, it's what we have. And as Buddhists, we are taught to be grateful for what we have, to accept what we have, to transform what we have for the Dharma. So we express deep gratitude to our parents by instilling in our heart a respect for them in the way that parents can instill gratitude towards their children is by teaching them the proper morals and ethics for life, by practicing home education. You see, when our children go to school, they're taught secular things. When they're on the internet or watching TV, they're learning secular things. But rarely do these places teach our kids real values, real morals. So it's the parents' duty to to educate their children on the proper way to speak, to think, and to act, to instill in their children the Noble Eightfold Path. You see, at home there's no tests, there's no exams, but there's supposed to be plenty of learning, everyday learning. So you see, when we have parents that spend the proper time educating, teaching, and cultivating, instilling the right values in their children, we are meant to have great gratitude towards them. Now, even if our parents don't do that, we can express gratitude towards them still for being there to give us life, giving us an opportunity to live a life and to transform this life. So if we didn't have the opportunity to learn the right things, we have the opportunity now to teach ourselves these right things so that we can teach our children, the next generation, the proper way. And that is how we show gratitude towards the next generation, towards our young ones. Now, the second gratitude.
Thank you, Brother Thanh, because right now we discussed one by one gratitude. The first gratitude to parents, but in this gratitude, you see, we can mention about why we gratitude. We put some question why we gratitude. First, when we don't have a physical body, at that time we are with enough condition between parent sperm and mother blood, mother ovum. At that time with food, with rain, with weather, with good weather, with everything. And then we appear in the fetus of mommy. You see, around 10 months. Other time, if mommy love us, it's something not hot, something not cold. If hot, baby in the fetus, we discuss this more and more. Fetus education, you see, yes, because family, Buddhist family relate to the fetus education. Another time, if mommy doesn't love us, and mommy eats something very hot, for example, chili, pepper. Another time, baby in the fetus of mommy and jump up, running, okay. And other time, not. Other time not good for a baby. We discuss more. If mommy ring cold, drink something very cold, drink alcohol, or smoke, and fetus, baby in the fetus maybe moving, dancing. Cold says baby cannot substance, and we discussed that more because in Buddhist education and with family between parent and children and a kid and a child in the fetus, after fetus, and when after 10 months the baby have enough condition and was born by mommy. First of all, when when the baby was born, baby give stress different to mommy and daddy, and baby would like to tame during in the fetus. Other time, if something directly mommy consciousness is less 80%, daddy only to 20%. So we explain this more, and you see, if mommy is who good practitioner, in the morning see the flower, in the morning see the Buddha face, in the morning see the Guangnam, compassion more, the Buddha, yeah. Another time, love and kindness, compassion come directly to the mommy mind, mommy consciousness, and the mommy consciousness direct to transmit directly to baby. Other time, when the baby was born, baby have a lot of compassion, have a talent, have a virtue, have something like that. If in this during the fetus, mommy watch a lot of movie, played a lot of film, play a game, violent game, and baby was born. Baby later on, baby follow mommy. Because mommy, when I was a fetus of mommy play a game a lot. I know. I know it right now. Mommy give me, I pass iPhone, I follow mommy way, and I play video game, violent game. It's like that's one more, that thing more. And then after that, when the baby was born, enough condition, enough everything with take care and look after mommy and daddy all the time. And we can explain about between mommy and kids and children. Go to school, eat without daily. Mommy only mommy and parent always earn money, don't have time to take care children, spend working a lot and don't have time to take care of children. Maybe in the Buddha teaching, in the Buddha study, in the Buddha teaching, in daily sleep, morning 1 hour, evening 1 hour. Sleep daily have 2 hours, and then for taking the children, if only earn money when the baby is like small bamboo. You see, if bamboo small and easy for us to bend. If bamboo become older and older, not easy to bend, right? And children, when children were strong, at the time we have duty to take to show and to take love, understanding the baby. Sometimes baby, the kids go to the temple, go to the Dharma center, at the time guide them to practice meditation one by one, and limit them to play game, limit them contact internet, and introduce the kids, the children to contact Buddhist education. And then when they grow up, they have the good habit to follow the parent way. That's my thing more. And when the baby grow up at a time, because we mentioned more, because in Buddhist education, in the family education, families, no class, no test, no class, no school, but very useful, very practical teaching between parents and the children. You see, teachers, parents sometimes play, always plays roles of teacher and professor. You see, and teaching, education, love and understanding. School, they don't teach love, understanding. Only family, the first teaching in Buddhist education. Family education is like no one thing more. Now with English and brother Pháp Thanh, it's like that thing more. The first gratitude now.
Do you want to do the second gratitude?
The
first one over?
Yes. Because we have around 90 minutes, and that's why we did the time like that. With the language, you can check, say whole thing. This okay already, but it's an application and
So the way that parents can show gratitude towards their children is by having proper education, including fetal education, by spending the proper time doing the proper things to feed their unborn baby the right nutrients, the right food, the right content. So not to indulge in violent or immoral content, not to eat food that will upset the child, so that through the mother's actions, the compassion and love will be instilled, so that when the baby is born, it can be born with great gratitude and have the proper mindset and conditions to live a life of gratitude and of liberation.
Yes, and sometimes family education, no test, no class.
Yeah, so within family education, there's no test, there's no class, there's no quizzes. It's a many years task for the parent to instill and teach their children in the family, in the home, daily, what is necessary for them to succeed and be a good person later on. You can say that the ultimate test is when they become adults and they go off on their own. So what kind of person will they become when they are no longer at home? That's the ultimate test. So whereas in the home, there is no quizzes or exams, it's in complete preparation for life's ultimate test, and that is independence. So when someone has good, nurturing, wholesome parents that instill the right morals and ethics, when they grow up, they can have great gratitude knowing that a good foundation in the Dharma, a good foundation in ethics was laid down for them. And this can generally only be done through regular family education, by spending the proper time together. You see, when the parents are too concerned with always working, always making money, then coming home way too tired to spend time with their child, that may supply the physical needs of the child. But what's more important is the emotional, mental, and spiritual needs. So when we spend money and come home tired and just want to relax, and our kid is just on the iPad or the computer, they're not going to learn the right things. They're going to learn secular things, and not even good secular things most of the time. So that's why it's so important that we evaluate what's really valuable in life. That parents look at how time is the most precious thing. Money and possessions, those have some value, but their value is almost nothing compared to spending quality time with our children. Because you can give your children every toy, every nice clothes, the best house, the best car, everything, but that won't make them good people. It'll only make them complacent and comfortable in not growing. You see, children are like a garden, and it's the parents' duty to cultivate that garden fully, to give it the proper soil and nutrients, the proper watering, the proper sunlight. You see, if you just only give it soil but no sunlight, the plants won't grow. If you give it only sunlight but no water, they will wither away. So it's important that we spend the proper time, and that parents, we educate ourselves, that adults educate ourselves in the right morals, so that we can instill that into our kids, and that parents act and live as moral, humble human beings, to be an example to our children. And this is a way that our children can have gratitude towards us. And this is ultimately the way that we have gratitude towards our children. that we show them that we love our children so much, that we pledge to be the kind of people we want our children to grow up, that we pledge to learn the kind of teachings, ethics, and moralities that we want to instill in our children. You know, as a child, I always disliked that phrase, do as I say, not as I do, because even as a kid, I could see the hypocrisy in it. You see, when we are truly moral people, and we teach moral and ethics, that has power. When we are not moral people, and we just say things about morals, it doesn't have any power. So we need to spend the time, the effort, in learning the Buddha Dharma, in learning true ethics and morality. That way, we will have the support of all the years of the Buddha's teachings, and we instill it in our hearts. So, thank you.
Thank you, Brother Pháp Thanh. Today only English. Maybe tomorrow we will translate in Vietnamese. But in you see here, why we have a deep gratitude to parent, because parent give birth, education, teaching. Just Brother Pháp Thanh mentioned about it. You see, and between parent and children, very important in family education. Family education is like a strong foundation. Strong foundation, not stable, not hard all the time. The first floor, the second floor, easy to fall down, and that's why with parent teaching, the first teaching, very strong, very stable, and then children with love, understanding, and happiness from their parent, and the children grow up strongly in family, have virtue, not only in family but also in school and society. And other time, first we would like to stress deep gratitude to parents, because good teacher, because sometimes mommy and daddy plays a role of teacher and professor, and teach something good, something wholesome. In the morning, now repeat after me. You see, in Vietnamese and English, have people here, and sometimes forgot. Sometimes you can say, now Vietnamese, please repeat after me. You can hear clear or not, depend on you. Problem for you, not for me, because I have duty right now. I have duty to say the Dharma in Vietnamese and English right now. Repeat after me. In the morning, buổi sáng nó đều là mommy and daddy practice open, wake up, and another time say something wholesome, do something wholesome, and something wholesome like that. Another time children become clearly and rightly, and have a right thing to do, something to do, right? Other time repeat after me in Vietnamese. English. Other time the audience maybe they try to listen to our Dharma talk. And the first, now the second gratitude. This is the Buddha jewel, the Dharma jewel, and the Sangha jewel. We can say three Ratana. Three means three in English. Three the same in English. The pronunciation the same. Three means three. In Vietnamese, ba. You see, Ratana means the Buddha jewel, Dharma jewel, and the Sangha jewel are the three jewel, or the triple gem. Right now, why we have deep gratitude to the Buddha jewel, the Dharma jewel, and the Sangha jewel. It's a long topic, but we have around 90 minutes at a time. Brother Pháp Thanh explain the second gratitude.
So the second gratitude we have is towards the three gems of Buddhism: the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. To have gratitude to the three gems is to recognize the value of these precious aspects of Buddhism in our life. So the Buddha, when we have gratitude towards the Buddha, it is because of what he did, what he shows us, what he teaches us. The Buddha was a human being just like us. He was born of parents just like us. And he had hardships in life just like us. He wasn't a divine being or a god who was somehow outside of the realm of suffering. He felt the pain of life and suffering deeply. In fact, so deeply that he wished to dedicate this life to eradication of suffering for all sentient beings. So we have gratitude because of the great task that he took underway in his lifetime. So we see that because of him, we have a concrete historical example of a person ending suffering for themselves and turning the wheel of the Dharma that will eventually end suffering for all beings. So, by showing gratitude to the Buddha, when we give offerings to the Buddha, when we chant the Buddha's name, when we learn his teachings, and this is the most important, the Buddha mentioned that his historical body, who he was in time, was very important. But the most important thing that he leaves for us is his teachings. That it is his teachings that are his greatest gift to us. So when we give honor and respect to the Buddha, when we have great gratitude towards the Buddha, it is towards the Buddha's teachings, what he has left us. This is the Buddha that we can come into contact with every day. So when we look at a Buddha statue, we think of the historical Buddha, but we should also think of his accomplishments and what that means for us. We should think of the Buddha nature within all of us, that the Buddha taught that we are all the same, that we are all one, that we share one common ground of the Dharma, one common ground of Buddha nature, of compassion and of caring. So when we have gratitude to that, it takes away the layers between us and the Buddha. It is a way of bringing us closer to the Buddha. Now, the second jewel is the Dharma. The Dharma is the Buddha's teachings. See, all these jewels and all these gratitudes interlace with each other. They are really one. We have three jewels, but those three jewels make up one body. They make up one system of liberation from suffering. If you take one away, you don't have a complete system, which is why all three are so important. So in the Dharma, we have great gratitude towards the Dharma, and the way we show this is by learning it. If you just read and don't contemplate, you won't get anything out of it. If you know that the Dharma books are there, but never open them and never take the time to study, you'll never come to see their value. So we show gratitude towards the Dharma by reading and learning, and by practicing the Dharma every day in our life. You see, the promise that the Buddha gave us is that if we take the proper time to learn his teachings, to implement them in our daily life, we will find liberation. We will find the end of suffering in our lifetime, here and now. We don't study so that in some future day or some future incarnation we can maybe have a little less suffering. No, we study because the teachings of the Buddha are so powerful that they can give us peace, calm, and compassion here and now. And we should be very grateful for that. That the Dharma is the key that unlocks the door to happiness, to mindfulness. So, like I said, the way that we show gratitude towards the Dharma jewel, is by taking the time to learn and implementing those teachings in our life. Now, a really good aspect of these two things is we have the third jewel, the Sangha. The Sangha is the community of believers in the teachings of the Buddha who work together in harmony to support each other. See, the Buddha realized that even though he was a shining example, just like all things are impermanent, he would have to go. And we would only be left with the next jewel, the teachings. But if there isn't anyone there to show the teachings, to progress the teachings, and to support each other in the teachings, it would fade with time. So because of the Sangha jewel, today we still have these teachings. Because there has been an unbroken line of practitioners from the time of the Buddha to now, we have the teachings and we have the example of the Buddha. So we have gratitude towards our Dharma brothers and sisters, because without them, this path is lonely and almost impossible. When you have support, when you have guidance, life becomes easier and more joyful. When we have hardships, it is difficult to conquer those things by ourselves. But because we have the Sangha jewel, we have a family, a vast family, a powerful family there to help us in our path. The Sangha jewel is that third support that lifts up the Buddha Dharma. So right now I'm speaking to y'all through cameras that are held up by tripods. Those tripods have 3 legs. The 3 jewels are like the 3 legs of the tripod that hold up the Buddha Dharma. If I was to take one of those legs away, it would all fall down. Each one is equally important, equally valuable. And this is why we have utter gratitude towards all 3 jewels. You know, I studied Buddhism for a long time. I studied the Dharma and I studied the Buddha, but I never found stability. I never found progress because I lacked the Sangha. Now that I have the Sangha, I realize the value in all 3 gems coming together, and I have great gratitude in my heart for that. So we express this gratitude by 1, recognizing the Buddha and his accomplishments and the Buddha nature within ourselves and everyone else. 2, we recognize the teachings of the Buddha and how they have the power to educate us, to end suffering and bring happiness. And 3, we recognize the value of the Sangha, how the support makes this path easier to go. So this is how we show gratitude. Come on.
Cảm ơn brother Pháp Thanh. You see here in the why we have deep gratitude to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. How we can say the Buddha jewel, the Dharma jewel, and the Sangha jewel. First, we mention about the Buddha history a little bit. The Buddha was born and at the time lived in the royal family. After that, he would like to visit for out of royal family. He say for census. You see, U.S. land, we.S. land, first, second, third, and fourth. First, sick people, second, old people, and dead people, and the American. When mentioned that. At the time, the Buddha see the real thing. At the time, near future, I grow up. At the time, I'm older. That's the way that I the same for human being, and that's why the Buddha have a good thinking and left for secular life and for monastic life, and become and practice for around 6 years. 6 years in the forest with the 5 monks, and then after that the Buddha chose the middle way, let asceticism and secular thing, right? And another time the Buddha chose the middle way. We mentioned about this more. And then the Buddha, why we have deep gratitude to the Buddha? Because the Buddha, normally when the Buddha got fully professed enlightenment, another time the Buddha is the awakened one or enlightened one. The Buddha is not God. Mentioned that. The Buddha not God. The Buddha is real. First time you see the Buddha is real person. Have parents, have royal family. It's like us. Buddha can do, but why we cannot do? You see, mentioned now. So the Buddha is not God. The Buddha is the awakened one and enlightened, fully awakened one and enlightened one. The Buddha got enlightened one under the Bodhi tree. And the Buddha is the king of this. Mentioned that more. The president of this. The Buddha never this violent. Mentioned that. And the Buddha never this violent. The Buddha is the king of this, the president of this, prime minister of this. If we use modern time, we use this word. It's like that. That's why we have deep gratitude to the Buddha, because the Buddha showed us the right way for living being and living being on earth. And the Buddha, who is the king of peace, he never this violent. That's why he have duty to show the way to us. And now we are students. We are children of the Buddha. We are students of the Buddha. We are disciple of the Buddha. In this case, student and disciple, well trained or well educated disciple. If we are unwell trained, sometimes we go to the temple a lot, but don't learning. Mention that more. We go to a temple many years, have Dharma name, sometimes Dharma name forgot. You see? And that's why we go to the temple, learning like today. You are here, you learning today. And when you learn the Buddha teaching, go to the temple, learn the Buddha teaching. And that's how we have good and virtuous teaching of the Buddha, graceful teaching of the Buddha, because of the Buddha showed us the right way. It's one by one. And how about Dharma? We have a deep gratitude because the Dharma is the right teaching. You see, we can compare some religious. You see, if you study religious teaching, you can comparison between Buddhist study and religious study. Most of religious teaching have violence, have himsa. Himsa means violence. And Buddhist teaching never have ahimsa. Never have himsa. Sorry, never have himsa. Always have peace, love and kindness, compassion, wisdom, ethic. We can say sila, prajna, and samadhi. So the Dharma means in this case the Noble Eightfold Path. We give more clear example. Eightfold Path. No, here the Dharma here. Review first prajna, sila, and samadhi. Prajna means wisdom or insight. Sila means virtue or ethical teaching or virtual teaching. And how about samadhi? Samadhi means concentration and meditation. And another time, the Dharma teach us this joy, happiness. Now repeat after me: not to do evil, to do good, to purify one mind. This is the Dharma of the Buddha. Explain like that. Our Dharma. So the Dharma is the right way, the right teaching. That's why we are children of the Buddha. Follow the right way, practice the right thing. If we practice the wrong thing, practice the wrong way, problem we have. You see, another time we have deep gratitude to the Dharma jewel. And how about second? Explain one by one. How about second? Second means the Sangha. In this case, have to, if we say general idea, have to lay Sangha and monastic Sangha. Sangha means beautiful, the beautiful community in harmony. Sangha first, more for people for more than people. For people live together, support together, do something and do something wholesome, think about something wholesome, and say something wholesome. Go the same way, practice the same thing. Other time, Sangha becomes stronger and stronger. Another time, we have deep gratitude to the Sangha, because sometimes if we live alone without you here today, and we sometimes lazy, sometimes want to clean something but lazy, sometimes to do something lazy, sleep a lot, say something unwholesome, but you are here. You practice the Buddha teaching, me too. You do something right, I do too. Without you, means without brother, without sister, sometimes I do something wrong, I never know. But you are here, brother here, sister here, you are here, you do something right, means today you are here at Tịnh Lực Buddhist Temple. You are right here and right now, you do something right. Another time we follow you. You see? And that's why Sangha means lay Sangha and monastic Sangha. Without lay Sangha, and we don't have food, we don't have rain to enjoy. But Sangha here, we do monastic Sangha, do a right thing, practice the right thing, spend a lot of time learning and practicing the Buddha teaching on daily, weekly, monthly, and yearly. Other time the Sangha come here, only here, not come. Today you come and hear about it, and you have more and more respectful heart to it. That's why we would like to we have a deep gratitude to Sangha. So in this case, we introduce more one song. I love Buddha. Very short time. I love Buddha. Now repeat after me. I have a Triratana song, Chippocham song. In Vietnamese first. I'm now Vietnamese. And có mình yêu Đức Phật, mình yêu Đức Phật, Phật trong ta, Phật trong ta, ta mến yêu Đức Phật Đà, ta mến yêu Đức Phật Đà, ta thành tâm, ta thành tâm. Now repeat after me, one by one, very simple. I will read this paper for you. And now I love Buddha, and I love Buddha. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Buddha is my teacher. Buddha is my teacher. Like that. The Dharma and the Sangha. We can say 90 minutes, maybe not very short. You see, and relate together. That's why we love the Dharma, the Sangha, and the Buddha. And mình yêu Tăng, mình yêu Pháp Bảo, mình yêu Pháp Bảo. Lời chân lý, lời chân lý. Ta hướng theo pháp môn lành, ta hướng theo pháp môn lành, ta thành tâm, ta cùng tu, ta cùng tu. I love Dharma. Vietnamese and English all the time. Your duty, not me. And Sangha, mình yêu Tăng Bào, mình yêu Tăng Bào. Người xuất gia thân với tâm luôn thanh tịnh, body and mind or our own way purified. Mà thân với tâm luôn thanh tịnh, thân với tâm luôn thanh tịnh, nương tựa nhau, body and mind own way, take refuge together, rely on together, never separate, body and mind. Nương tựa, thân với tâm luôn thanh tịnh, thân với tâm luôn thanh tịnh, nương tựa nhau, nương tựa nhau. I love Sangha, I love Sangha. Like that. Very short time. time come very short. Time not enough to say one by one, right? Another time the Sangha, the triple, the Buddha Chuo, the Dharma Chuo, or the Sangha Chuo. So the Sangha Chuo who are the messenger of peace. You see, if the Buddha, when the Buddha, who is the awakened one, and we are who is the king of peace, and the Sangha who is student of the Buddha. So the Sangha are Dharma brother and sister who are the messenger of peace. Do the right way, do the right thing. Live in mindfulness, live in harmony. Other time practice mindfulness, practice peace, joy, happiness. Never do violence. That's why true teacher, true Dharma, true teaching, right teacher, right teaching, and right Dharma practitioner. Other time, three of them, Brother Pháp Thanh give more and more clear about the camera have a tripod, very clear, support together. One leg fall down and two legs follow. And that's why in the Buddha time, in the Buddha time have the Dharma, in the Buddha time have a Sangha. Right now in the modern time, Sangha community very important. Without Sangha here, without lay Sangha, without monastic Sangha, Buddhism develop maybe very slowly. And that's why we support together. The Sangha, monastic Sangha have time, spend time, robber time, learning, practicing the Dharma, studying the Dharma very well, very clear. When lay people come, lay Sangha come, and we have duty to say the Dharma. And now you have time to earn money, to earn material. We have time to learn and to practice the Buddha teaching, to study the Buddha teaching very clearly and very brightly. And then you come here and we have duty to share the Dharma to you. And when we understand that, we hope Buddhism not only in the present but also in the future more and more stable. We can mention like that all the time. The Dharma, the Sangha, and the Buddha very strong, connect together, never separate. They are like images and shadow. They are like water and vapor, and they are like milk and water. And we get more sample all the time. Oh, Pháp Nhãn Temple have a strong Sangha. Today you say the Dharma, we are very happy. You see, and that's the second gratitude. Now time very fast. And the third Sangha teacher, the third gratitude, Dharma teacher, secular teacher. Now I would like to invite Brother Pháp Thanh to say the third gratitude.
Thank you, Thầy. So, the third gratitude is towards our secular teachers. So, these are the people who decide to make a career out of teaching the citizens of whichever country we live in the proper things to function in society. Now, all of us can think back to a teacher that we had in school that really changed us, that instilled in us a love of education. In fact, what separates a good teacher from a non-good teacher is how well they inspire their students to continue to learn, how engaging they make education for children. Now, our secular teachers don't necessarily have the responsibility to teach us spiritual things, but to live in the world, we still need a foundation in how to do certain things in the world. things like reading, math, history. Now, these things can actually support us in our Dharma knowledge. You see, when we learn reading skills, when our secular teachers are well enough trained and inspiring enough to get us to want to read, that can carry over in us wanting to learn the Dharma. Having the ability to comprehend the sutras when we read them. When we learn writing skills, this teaches us the ability to express our ideas and our thoughts and to really work out questions in our mind. When we learn math, this teaches us how to add up the qualities of life, how to train the mind to work through complicated problems step by step, much like how the Buddha Dharma teaches us to work through life in a step-by-step manner. And this is apparent because the Buddha always taught in a very step-by-step practical manner. The 4 Noble Truths were 1, 2, 3, 4, and the Eightfold Path was step-by-step as well. And even when he taught mindfulness practices, it was a 16 methods of mindfulness. So he also used reading, writing, and arithmetic to help and support his teachings. So we should have gratitude towards our secular teachers because they still give us a firm foundation of which to approach the spiritual life. Now, when we go to college, these professors and teachers that we have teach us the higher skills that we need to support ourselves. Generally, if you go to college, it's because you've decided to be a lay person, to support yourself, your family, and the Sangha through your career, through whatever trade you decide to practice. And these professors give us that foundation to be effective members in our jobs and in our society. We should have great gratitude toward these people. You see, being a Buddhist isn't just about having gratitude towards spiritual concepts or spiritual leaders. It's about having gratitude for everything in life. Everything that you have. So the Buddha teaches us that everything in our life is the result of karma. So even the teachers that we have, the classes that we take, the jobs that we have, everything is based on cause and effect, conditions and causes. And through gratitude, we can transform all these things for the better. Through gratitude, this lessens suffering. So if you're having difficulties learning something in school, if you're a kid watching this, and there's just something that you're having a hard time to learn, have gratitude that you have a challenge in life, that you have an opportunity to overcome. Gratitude turns obstacles into opportunities. And our teachers are the ones that inspire us to have this mindset. So that is why we should have great gratitude towards even our secular teachers. And this is also to say that also when we have good secular teachers and good parents, those two things come together to make us truly wonderful, caring, compassionate, and intelligent people. Thank you, Thầy.
Cảm ơn Brother Pháp Thanh. When we mention about the gratitude to teacher, in this case, teacher have two different kind of teacher. First, school teacher, or we can say secular teacher. Second, Dharma teacher. In this case, we can compare. Now you see here, school education. Before we study family education. Family education, in families education have parent, mother, father, brother and sister and kids, because family education is the first teaching and school education is the second teaching. You see, family education is the strong, is the foundation, And school education is maybe is the first education. And another one, school education belong to family education. When family education becomes strong and stable, and school education follow, because when the children become good students or not depend on education, family education. You see, if we only mention about school education, not enough. So still children become good students belong to family education, parent education, and then they have strong enough. They have a strong heart, a strong mind, strong loving kindness, compassion, understanding, and love in the family education. And when the children have a duty right now, grow up, study kindergarten, study first grade, second grade, and high school and university, etc. Other time, when they have good, when they become good student, but first belong to education of family. When finish education in family, and teacher study hard with parent teaching, with parent education, and children have good thinking. Now we go to school. How we have money to pay the school? Other time belong to parent earning money. And a student don't worry about money, don't worry about anything, because around them with take care of parent, and school become teacher, becomes a good student. When becomes a good student in school, in school education, good teacher, because a teacher good. For example, why we say good teacher? Good teacher means that morning, teacher have time practice meditation, have time to do something wholesome, say something wholesome, and think about something wholesome. And when he or she in the class, and that time his face or her face become beautiful, become handsome, become happy, and students look each other and they're happy too. If the teacher, our professor go to in the class, in morning, his way become angry, and teacher, student maybe affected. That's why good teacher and good student. And first and second, teacher says teach something good, teach something right, and other time student follow right thing. If a teacher don't spend time preparing for good teaching, and now go to class only teach the same way, same week, same teaching, student become bored and bored. You see, another time it's very important for the teacher transmit a good teaching to student, and when student become happy and the teacher become happy, the student follow the teacher by teacher teaching, and then this secular teacher. How about Dharma teacher? Dharma teacher means we can compare. In the family, parent give us a physical body, but in the temple, in the monastery, Dharma teacher give us Dharma body, Dharma mind, Dharma body. You see, Dharma mind, Dharma body means Sila, Brahma, Sila, and Samadhi. Brahma, wisdom, virtue, ethical teaching, virtuous teaching, and meditation, concentration and meditation. Only this. Every time we have Dharma body and Dharma mind stably, strongly, without teacher teaching, without Dharma teacher teaching, we also have, we always have a physical body, but this not strong, not enough. That's why with Dharma teacher teaching, we have physical we not only have physical body, but also have a Dharma body and mind. Prajna, Sila, and Samadhi. It's like one by one like that. All the time, more people hear and respect. That's why we would like to express deep gratitude to the teacher, not only secular teacher, but also Dharma teacher. But in the teacher, we can mention more. In the teacher, or we can say Patriarchs. Patriarchs means in the Buddha time, when the Buddha passed away, the Patriarch teacher have duty to transmit from the Buddha time until now. Not only here, but also another somewhere else. That's why without teacher transmission, Dharma transmission, and we don't have Dharma to learn. We don't have the Sangha to learn, to live, to support together. We don't have something we support and rely on each other. That's why we always in the Dharma teacher, we also express deep gratitude to Patriarchs who have duty to transmit, to live with the Dharma, to transmit the Dharma in the Buddha time until now. That's why today we live together, support together, learning together, practice together. That's why the teacher, we have a physical, we have a Dharma body and mind. So right here and right now, we would like to vow to practice the Buddha teaching more and more. You see? Another time, the third. Not only the third, the time very fast. You see, yeah? So how about with general idea, another time go there and we understand more. And right now, the fourth gratitude, we would like to express gratitude to children and students, Dharma student or Dharma teacher. We already gratitude to teacher right now, student and disciple. Right now, we would like to express deep gratitude to student or teacher. Now, please, Brother Pháp Thanh, to say something.
Thank you, Thầy. So the fourth gratitude is towards students or disciples. Without students, there would be no need for teachers. Without disciples, there would be no need for Dharma teachers or Dharma masters. This is how the succession of knowledge gets carried on. So when we give students the proper teaching, the proper time and attention, that is how we show gratitude. When I mentioned before that what separates a good teacher from a bad teacher is how well they instill a love for education, that is also backed up by how much gratitude they have towards their students. See, when we have gratitude towards the ones that we teach, we want to do better. When we have gratitude towards our teachers, our students, and our disciples, we want the best for them. That's how we show our gratitude, by making sure that they fully comprehend the curriculum, fully comprehend the teachings, because the future of the teaching will rely on them. So the Buddha teaches us that all things are impermanent. Anyone who becomes a teacher will one day go away, and it will be the student's job to carry those teachings forward. And it depends on the gratitude that the teacher has towards the student, for the quality of those teachings. You see, when a teacher just doesn't care about their students, when they only want to go through the curriculum, collect their paycheck or collect their dana, it doesn't do any good for the students or the Sangha or the community. But when there is deep gratitude towards the knowledge, the education, and the students, the next generation is in great hands. the next generation is safe, and the Dharma will propagate more and more. So we should have gratitude towards the next generation, towards the people who are learning. And this brings about the great responsibility of the teacher and the responsibility of the student to the teacher. These two things go together. This gratitude between student and teacher is the glue that holds the teaching together. Now we have 2,600 years or more of unbroken knowledge from the Buddha to us now, from patriarch to patriarch, from teacher to student. This could only be accomplished through gratitude. The gratitude to know that these things have value, that the Buddha Dharma has value, that even certain secular knowledge, like I mentioned, reading, writing, and arithmetic, has value. It enriches our lives and makes us able to suffer less. So we have gratitude for these things. And each generation, through gratitude, this teaching progresses, gets more refined, more powerful, so that here we are now, able to share this with each other, able to carry this teaching on to further generations. And because of that, we have great gratitude. Us as teachers, as teacher and student, we have great gratitude to be able to share these things with you all. Because we know that one day we are impermanent. It is going to be your duty to carry on these teachings. When Thai goes away, it's going to be Shiko and my duty to carry these teachings forward and to impart these things to new students. So this is how we have gratitude here, by carrying forward the tradition of the Buddha Dharma. Thank you.
Cảm ơn Brother Pháp Thanh. You see here, the Buddha always have deep gratitude to students. For example, other time we mention more, Sariputta, Moggallana, Subhuti, Ananda, Rahula, Anuruddha, etc. The Buddha have a deep gratitude to students because they are Dharma transmitter, they are Dharma connector. That's why they have duty to transmit the Buddha teaching to not only the Buddha time but also until now. That's why we are still a student of the Buddha. In the Buddha time, some student of the Buddha can do. The Buddha is read different to teacher, to student. Right now, teacher also is read different to student. Without student, no connection, no Dharma connection, no Dharma transmission. That's why with good relationships, good and stable relationship between teacher and student have a deep gratitude to each other. And then when the student practice the Buddha teaching well, and then the Buddhism develop more and more stably, develop stably not only in the present but only in the future, as well as in the future. Strongly, our some this gratitude to students, we respect and we express each other. This student gratitude. Now, how about we would like to express deep gratitude to donor and giver. Now, Brother Pháp Thanh says something.
Thank you, Thai. So the next gratitude is towards donors and givers. Now, as monastics, we have a very keen insight into the gratitude of donors. In fact, everything that we have, all of our security is based on the generosity of others. Now, generosity can be seen as another form of gratitude. When you have gratitude towards something, you want to give to it, you want to keep it going. The fact that the Buddha Dharma has been carried on to us now, generation after generation, is due to the gratitude and generosity of all the Sangha throughout time. So we have great gratitude by constantly practicing the Buddha's teachings, by constantly refining our knowledge in the Dharma, because this is the value that we have to give. Having gratitude and generosity is about being happy with what you have and wanting to share it, wanting to give it openly and freely. Knowledge, to share wealth, to share food, to even share happiness and suffering. So we have great gratitude towards donors and givers, and this is what propels us to work harder and harder to learn more and to practice more. Because our value is in what we can offer in the form of teachings and guidance to everyone else. And it's proportional to what we receive. So Thầy always likes to remind me of, in the Buddha has a halo of economy, that he has a glory or a light of economy, and that is what allows his monastics to go forward boldly into the world. You see, when the Buddha wanted to spread the Dharma, he sent his disciples out in the 10 directions to propagate. And he had them go out boldly with only the robes on their backs and the bowls in their hands, relying on the fact that if they cultivated the Buddha Dharma wholeheartedly, day after day, that all their needs would be taken care of. That the Buddha Dharma has the value to bring stability to their lives. So, whereas as a lay person, I understood the value of supporting the Sangha because I truly valued the Sangha. This goes back to having gratitude towards the Triple Gem. Remember, the Sangha is made up of 4 components, 4-fold community of male monastics, female monastics, male lay people, and female lay people. These are the 4 pillars of the Sangha. And without any of these, you don't have the Sangha. So that gratitude pours over into when we give. So here in the temples, and all temples, monastics, we give our lives, we give our time and our effort to cultivate, learn, and share. And as lay people, we give of what we have and our time towards other Sangha members, towards monastics, to carry forward the Buddha Dharma. Because what ultimately has value is not material possessions. It's not what we can hoard and cultivate in this life, but it's what we can give for the name of the Buddha, for the name of the Dharma, and for the Sangha. Without this support, without the generosity of all of the Sangha, the Buddha Dharma would go nowhere. Monastics would not have the support needed to constantly share, and lay people would also not have the support needed from each other to continue their lives of ease, of happiness, and joy. So we should have great gratitude for anyone who gives us a helping hand, for anyone who puts food on our table for us to have sustenance for that day, for anyone who supports us to have a roof over our head so that we have a comfortable place to sleep, anyone who gives us the necessary funds to have robes, clothing, hygienic products, all these things will allow us to live this life and allow us to support. It's like the circle. It's like a circle of life that when we support the Sangha supports us. And that gratitude keeps that wheel turning. Gratitude keeps that Dharma wheel of support going. Yeah, thank you.
Cảm ơn brother Pháp Thanh. You see here, why we have a different attitude to donor and giver. because the donor and giver who are lay people go to work, earn money. Monastic people have duty to learn the Dharma, practice the Dharma, to study the Dharma very well, very clear. And when lay people come to the temple, come to monastery, they doesn't have. They have a little bit time to listen to the Dharma. That's why when we have retreat like today, lay people come. We are here. Another time we have time. You have time, and we have time together to learn the Dharma. The monastic people have a time, spend a lot of time learning and studying, and especially practicing the Buddha teaching. Another time, lay people come like you, come today, and we have Dharma to say you one by one, step by step. Another time, you understand more and more, because lay people have a busy life, secular life, busy life, earn money. We have free time. Monastic people have more free time, have a lot of time for learning and practicing the Buddha teaching. And when you come here, we explain and we teach, we show the Dharma one by one at a time. You understand the Buddha teaching more and more. That's why when you have money, when you have you earn money, you have something. You take care of your family already, but some you have, and you support the temple. That's why monastic people don't go to work. We also receive food donation from a donor and giver, and that's why we would like to express deep gratitude to you, mean to a donor and giver. Without donation, we don't have robe to wear, we don't have food to eat, we don't have water to drink, we don't have a temple to live. Give more example. You don't have everything to join here. That's why monastic people always give gratitude to you, Mr. Donor and giver. So if we are students, we are disciples, we are children of the Buddha. We support together Buddhism, not only in the future, but also in the present. Become strong more and more and more strongly. Now, next gratitude. The country where we were born and the national, these are two, but we can say two together. National hero. Now, I would like to invite Brother Pháp to say this gratitude for you.
Thank you. So the next gratitude is towards the country that we live in. So this is something that's easy to express for us who are in America. Here we have a vast amount of freedom and security to practice the Dharma. Not a lot of places have that in the world. I recently studied in China. Right now they're cracking down a lot on all religions. They see religion as something that doesn't support their political system, so they want to quiet it. So it's more difficult to practice. But here in this country, we support our religions. In fact, our current president, our current national hero, he spoke about Vesak Day. He gave a speech about Vesak. And in the United Nations, they also had a speech talking about the Buddha and the Dharma and Vesak. This shows the progress that we are making in the world and how we should have deep gratitude for the society and the countries that we live in, especially if our country is open and allows us to practice any way that we see fit. So here in America, we have the opportunity, regardless of where we come from, who we are, and what we believe, we have the freedom and the space to practice. As long as what we do and what we say and what we believe doesn't harm other people, which Buddhism as Thầy mentioned before, has ahimsa, non-violence. We never harm other people. What we do, say, and believe is meant to help people, to be compassionate. And we have the space to do that here. And thankfully, we have enough leaders in this country, enough examples that give us the great opportunity to live the Dharma here and now. So this goes back to our first president, George Washington, who in 1776, when they signed the Declaration of Independence, and said that all men created equal, that everyone has the right to religious freedom. This is a great thing to have. Now, in this current day, so many countries have religious freedom. So many countries give us the space to pursue spirituality in a wholehearted manner. And we should have gratitude. If we have that freedom, we should have great gratitude. Now, part of this gratitude, how we can express this, is by understanding that when we possess the freedom to pursue spirituality the way that we see fit, others also have that freedom. When we look down on other people, when we condemn other people because they may not have the same views as us, we are not showing gratitude towards our nation. We have gratitude towards our nation's values by living with equality, equanimity, when we see all people like ourselves. You see, we are all on the same path. We are all seeking happiness. We are all in the pursuit of happiness. And we are all in the pursuit of ending our suffering. As long as you can recognize that, and every other person in your nation, we are one big family. And we have gratitude towards our leaders who uphold these truths, who uphold these freedoms for us. So as much as we have as Americans, we're very prone to criticize other nations, to criticize even our own leaders, to have very strong views. But we should have gratitude that where we are now is because of our leaders, because of the decisions they make. Being a leader comes with a lot of responsibility. You have to make very hard decisions on the behalf of millions of people. This is something that most of us in our daily life don't do. Most of us, the only decisions we make affect ourselves and maybe our friends and family around us or our local community. But our leaders have to make decisions that support millions of people. And we should have deep gratitude for that. We should have gratitude where the place that we live gives us the space, the resources, and the freedom to be who we want to be, to pursue the Dharma freely. Because we have that ability, because we can go out, and I can have on the back of my truck a Buddha sticker and a sticker that says, kindness is my religion. The fact that I have the freedom to speak my spiritual values out in any country that allows me to have that freedom as well. And I also have gratitude for those nations that are slowly growing, who are slowly cultivating compassion towards all people, that step by step, one day, those people will also have the freedom to pursue happiness, liberation, and the Dharma. Thank you.
Cảm ơn Brother Pháp Thanh. You see here, why we have a deep gratitude to the country where we was born, because and national hero. First, the country where the country become independent. Other time we have freedom, we have happiness to live. That's other time we have deep gratitude to the country where we was born, where we live, where we work. When we have a deep gratitude to the country, other time we support the country. And national hero means national founder. without founder, without the person who found and built the country, we don't have a country the right name. That's why we always have different to national hero and the country each other. National hero means we can say virtuous or ethical leader. When leader who are right, who are virtuous, and show the good way, take care of the country, following the right way, and the country develop more and more. If the leader become president, become prime minister, become the king, etc., and do something wrong, say something wrong, think about something wrong or unwholesome, and the country didn't develop, maybe develops a little bit. That's why the people in the country where we live, where we were born, where we work, all the time to develop more and more and relate each other. All the time we have a national hero, we have the country where we were born, where we work, where we live. All the time work together. That's why in America, from the first president George Washington until now the president the US 46. Biden, and we can call national hero when we live here. If we would like to express deep gratitude to the country or to the national hero here, and we should do right thing, say something right thing, think about something right thing. In this case, by virtuous training, now repeat after me, không làm các điều ác, hãy làm các điều lành. Not to do evil, to do good, to purify one mind. This is Buddha teaching. Like that, all the time we practice step by step. All the time we are happy, and not to kill a living being. Not to steal what is not given. Yes, and we say something 5 precepts all the time. We are a good person who have deep gratitude to the country and to the national hero. This we mentioned more. And the last one, gratitude to environment. For us, we have this gratitude. Now I would like to invite my brother Pháp Thanh to say this thing a little bit. The last one.
For the environment?
Yes.
Okay. So, when we live in a country that has the proper environment to support us, we should have great gratitude. So, here in America we have giant forests, rivers, lakes, mountains. All these things give us what is necessary to support our life. Here we can enjoy clean water, fresh air. You see, when we practice mindfulness, we have to breathe in and breathe out deeply. If our air is polluted, that's very difficult. When we want to grow our food and the soil is poor, it is also very difficult. So when the environment is conducive towards giving us life and supporting us, we have great gratitude. Now, how we show that gratitude is very important. We do this through respecting our planet, respecting our environment. By taking care of the life and the land around us, by taking care of the air that we breathe. You see, it is not just my air, it is everybody's air, so we should not pollute it. This is not just my ground, this is everyone's ground, so we shouldn't pollute it. All the animals and life that live here, I don't own these things. This makes me think of the story when Buddha was young and he saw a swan fall from the sky into their palace courtyard, and it had an arrow in its wing. And Devananda came and said, I shot down that swan. Did you see it? That is my swan. And the Buddha had taken the arrow out, gotten medicine from Gautami to try and give it back and love it. And he said, that is my swan. I shot it down. I own it. And the Buddha said, no, it is not yours. When you have violence towards something, you push that thing away. It is not yours. But when you love something, when you have compassion towards it, then it belongs to you. Our planet is the same way. If we pollute it, if we destroy it, if we take advantage of it and the life on it, it's not ours. But when we take responsibility and we care for it and we love our planet, then it is ours and we belong to it. You see, we cannot live without the air, the water, and the soil around us. So we must treat it like we treat ourselves, with respect, humility, and integrity. Thank you.
Cảm ơn Brother Pháp Thanh. You see here, environment in this case, in the school, should learn education, learning. Another time, everybody have a duty to take care of environment. Environment means our lungs. When we destroy environment, our lungs become destroyed. That's why we take care of environment. We take care of our lungs. Nothing more. And to take care of environment, we practice the first precept. Don't kill living life, living thing and living being. Mention that more. And other time we have practical teaching to protect environment. And then we protect like that all the time. Fresh air, clean water, clear fresh environment, clean environment. All the time we have a good environment to practice morning, breathing in, breathing out, spend time practicing meditation more. And mention that all the time we are happy. Thus, today we practice sharing about this topic. We hope near future go somewhere. You and I have a Dharma in English and a gratitude in Buddhist study. And now, on behalf of Dharma Sangha, Dharma brother and sister, we would like to thank you for your listening and for your joining Dharma discussion, Dharma hearing today. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dhammaya, Namo Sanghaya. Brother Pháp Thanh chanting nguyện đem công đức này in Vietnamese and English.
Nguyện đem công đức này hướng về cam tất cả đệ tu và chúng sinh để tuân tàn phán đạo. Sharing the merit. May the merit of cultivation today be directed towards all living things and living beings. We and human beings can realize the Buddha's way together. Sadhu, Lan, Thai, well done and excellent. Remember the sadhu.
Okay, thank you. We stand up and bow together and bow the audience.